You gents, thank you for joining us. Now, Martin, it seems that technology hasn't helped with amount of misuse.
I know, this is
quite sad.
But I have to say, it's a good use for drones.
Yes.
I've spoken about drones on here before, and I don't particularly like them being in urban areas or in flight paths and that sort of thing. However, a drone was used on Ben Nevis to try and find a climber who has fallen off an ice shelf and is still missing. But the drone, unfortunately, that when it was used by Lochaber Mountain Rescue Team, unfortunately, that got caught by the wind and has obviously gone and tipped into the thing. But I do think, it's a good way to use drones, getting into remote areas, that sort of thing. Saving. It's lucky that we lost a drone and not a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's a cost-effective way to hopefully save lives in the future. We'll move on to our next story. And Jim, a car mystery which we were talking about on the show last night.
Yes.
Seems to have been solved, or
Well,
has
apparently
it?
they're saying that the car was left there deliberately so that the mechanism actually worked in the automatic lifts.
So this is a car
I was going to say,
Edinburgh.
let's put this into context because it was a robotic car
A
park, isn't
robotic
it?
car park. So it's been left there from
15 years.
2003.
Yeah.
And so seemingly somebody that worked in the car park said that it wasn't a mystery car, it was deliberately left there.
Rubbish.
You're from Edinburgh. Have you ever seen this car park
I've
before?
never seen this car park. I think it's a complete nonsense. I mean, why would somebody leave a car in a car park and close it down, lock it up and say, oh, yes, we've left it there because we want to make sure that the mechanism works when the building is pulled down in 25 years' time?
I think this story will keep going. Yeah.
We might follow up, we might not. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Good for the January diet, Martin.
Calorie-free.
And the other thing is it can be vegan. If you just substitute the butter for stock block, not the spreadable, then it's vegan. And that's vegan as well.
Oh, wow. There you go, vegan strawberries.
Right, now, the last time you were in and your meringues were massive.
True story.
Yeah, so it was a mouthful last time, and this is like a mouthful this time.
I know, and that's why I thought...
Some cutlery.
Yeah, a knife, a fork and a spoon. And it might be just easier to take
Take the top off.
and dip it in.
Yeah, I'm going to go for
You can't stick all that in your mouth.
You dropped your strawberry.
I've dropped it already.
Oh, no.
Martin, you behave yourself.
So if you
I'm
just
going to get me a bit of Kool-Aid.
Oh, very delicious. Yeah, sugar-free.
Right.
I wish I could say it was, but it's not.
Dip it in the Kool-Aid.
It doesn't need to be, it tastes that good.
Oh, that'd be the best.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Lovely.
That's the best kind of shortbread. That is the...
Nailed it.
No, that is... Like I said to you earlier, you get the ones that are flaky that kind of disintegrate in your mouth. That's got a nice
got a bit of
bite to it.
My dad says to me it's nicer than the one that you buy in the shops.
There you go. I would agree wholeheartedly.
Good.
Fantastic. Thank you. Now, talking of wonderful Scottish produce, Martin.
Well,
good
I know.
news.
Look, great news for Scotland. The stats have just come out saying that the increase in exports from Scotland has now gone up to £30 billion a year, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, Scotland's doing well.
And a lot of it's to do with
well,
the whiskey.
exactly. Of that figure, 5.5 billion is from food and beverage.
Oh my
and I wonder which beverage they're talking about.
Yes.
Whiskey is
Sportswear.
obviously whiskey is such an important product and global, such a brilliant global brand. Everybody knows whiskey from Scotland, and if it's got an E in it, it's not.
Yes.
And so, we're very lucky, and I think it's good news for
I
Scotland.
didn't know that about the whiskey with the E in it.
The Irish whiskey's got an E in it.
Have you been spelling it wrong all this time?
Always don't.
Must be us no great anyway.
Jim, there's a once-in-a-blue-moon occurrence in Glasgow.
Yes, actually I was speaking to Sean on the way in and
Sean Batty.
it was a clear night and he was saying it's a half moon just now and by next week it will be a full moon and it'll be a blue. It doesn't mean it's going to be blue.
I was
It's
really
just-
disappointed by that.
No, it's not going to be. It's just the size of it, and it'll be. Obviously, if it's a clear night, it'll be a great night.
Nice.
But that's when it's the dust that gives the colour. Like
That's
when
right.
the red dust from the Sahara that came over.
Gives
That's
us the red
when we had a red moon.
Which is why it's going to be a
Sean
normal
Batty
moon.
better
but-
watch out.
Thank you very much.
On the
Stuck into your
case.
shortbread, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Anne.